Yeah. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Caliber. You watch another episode of the Miller Experience Overtime. And today's a special episode. We're doing our monthly recap, political recap. We're gonna try to provide this for you guys every month. Some type of what's going on politically around the country. We're gonna try to provide this to you guys every month. So just bear with us and hope you guys enjoy it. I want to thank you guys for liking and subscribing to the channel. We're currently at 923 subscribers. Still not yet there at 1,000, but that's the goal. Now, you already know, ladies and gentlemen, Trump been in office for what, 2 weeks? He coming out like Tony Montana. What? You see my tentacle friend? I'm getting all y'all getting sprayed. You know what I'm saying?
He's up.
All y'all, even the ones that voted for him, y'all get sprayed too. Y'all getting it all.
Straight up, skeet.
But hey, let's go ahead and talk about it. I'm gonna give it to you guys. This is your platform, but the politics, I'm just here observing and listening, just learning. What we got, Vic?
Trump. All these executive orders that he's been signing like nobody's business. I'll just kick it off from there. Executive orders. They don't have the power of law, but I guess they're doing something. Y'all go at that.
So Craig, I know you at work, Craig. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and kick it off.
Yeah. Well, they don't have the power of law, but they're big mouth. They're speaking to the people that he wants to speak to. Like Daryl. He's speaking to Daryl. He said, "I said this. I'm gonna do it," and that's the way it is. Well, but you have some who are just capitulating just because he is who he is. He's a bully. The bully pulpit. That's who he is, and he's doing things that people really didn't think that he would do. And he's coming out guns a-blazing, because you use the lack of a better term. I mean, he is who he is. When he starts looking at, well, he's a liar first and foremost. He said he wasn't going to do some of these things, but he is who he is. He said he wasn't about the 2025, but we all know that was the playbook. Now, when he spoke about it, he said, no, I have no parts in that. I don't know anything about it, but we all know that's his playbook. He's showing his hand now, and all those people who didn't think that he would do it, that he was just talking, well, here you go. And I'm waiting for the first person to come to me and say, yo, man, I really didn't think he was going to do that. But I don't think they'll come to me, quite honest with you, because they know who I am. They know I'm going to eat them. This is what you wanted. I hate to pick out races, but you have a lot of Hispanics who voted for him as well. And the first thing he said, he's going to give an order. Look at the people, the dreamers and things of that nature. He's trying to stop people who were born here, birthright, which the judge put that on hold. But he's doing things that are contrary to the melting pot.
A birthright wasn't in the 2025 plan. That's not in the plan.
Birthright citizenship?
Yeah, that's not in the 2025 plan.
Oh, because
I actually checked some of those things.
Right. So he omitted that, but he's been talking about that for a while.
Yeah, well, that's my whole point. The point is that, and like I said before, so I just want to make it clear. So when we get this, when Victor does the edits and puts this stuff out there, that people don't perceive me as some type of Trump loyalist. What I am is I'm an attack on liberal and democratic sponsorship and people that don't investigate and don't really look in and can't really see the spin. So my attack, and for example, the Republicans, from my standpoint, the Republicans can get it too. They can get it. But I'm specifically interested in the Democrats because I was one. And when I watch, it's like being unshackled from a perspective, a way of seeing things, watching things going through the cycle where you become sick, you become nauseous, You become kind of like, watching politics, you become angry. It turns you into a different type of person. And so being able to get off of that milk of the democratic cycle of spinning things, like, so for example, one of the things, and I think I don't know who sent it out, but I saw the thing on the things on our little threaded messages we have. But I'm like saying, well, people are going to see now. They're going to see his true colors. I say, well, this is the stuff that the guy was saying from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, so just that thought in that ad is a spin. It's a spin to say, see, we told you, but wait a minute, he already said it. You can't say, see, we told you when we already knew. We already knew.
A lot of people don't pay attention to it. You and I both know that.
Let me tell you something. At the rallies, you can go back and play the rallies. You say that, but you can't justify it. You can always say something. See, that's what happens is the Democrats always throw something else up in the air that they can't go and actually produce the footage for. Like you can't come with the receipts because Trump at all his rallies, you can go back and find all of the tapes and all of the rallies with all of the pundits. Every time he said something, they were on it. This is what he's going to do, how he's going to destroy it. And then when he does it, see, y'all didn't believe it, but he said it. And his people knew he said it.
But that is what I said. He said this. A lot of people don't pay attention to these things. They don't listen. And when you put it out there, they're saying, "Oh, no, he's not going to do that. He's not."
Okay, people don't pay attention? What people don't pay attention?
There's a lot of people that do not pay attention to politics.
No. There's a
lot. Darren, you know this as well as I do. A lot of people. No. A lot of people does not pay attention to politics. Ernest, when did you start listening to politics?
Yeah, but you're throwing out a red herring. You're throwing out a red herring. He don't listen.
What I'm saying is, and this is a true statement, a lot of people do not, and in fact, a lot of people run from politics because it's so nasty, because it's so divisive. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't pay attention. So when you say things like I've said, and I say, see, this is what I told you. I can say that because I've said it. You know what I'm saying? I've said this to you.
Yeah, but on top of that, a lot of the Republicans say, "Oh, he said that, he don't mean that." Like the guy Scott, the white guy Scott, I can't remember his last name on CNN. Oh, he didn't mean it like that. He meant this. He meant that. But as soon as he gets in office, he does this. Then we say, now you see his true colors. Like I can say on my timeline, oh, that's not what he's going to do. He's not going to do that. And when he does this stuff,
but you're saying stuff in the ether. See, right now you're just speaking. Give me some tangibles. Give me some tangibles.
That's
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Give me tangibles where we can say he specifically said this. This particular politician said this. Because see, to me, that's the Democratic spin.
Okay. Let me give you an example.
You're just spinning
let me give an example. Let me throw one at you. They said what Trump is doing as far as firing people, certain people within cabinets. He's firing them. They said, well, we know it's illegal. Lindsey Graham said, yes, we know it's illegal, but it's Trump. He's going to do what he wants to do, whether it's legal or not. Those are the examples of what we're talking about.
Okay. Let me add to what Lindsey Graham said. Lindsey Graham also said he should have came to us and said something, but what Trump is doing is getting rid of people who are not doing the job. But he still skipped over the part that is not legal for him to do that.
Okay. So in other words, if he did something legal by executive order, then it's up to Congress, right? Now, what happens when he can do something? What happens when Biden does something? For example, when my whole argument with DEI, the thing that I was having before, my foundational argument for DEI was there is nothing that you guys can tell me that DEI does that the Constitution, the 1964, including the amendments that happened to the American Disabilities Act, does not do. In other words, DEI does nothing for the law. What it does is does things in the workplace. It's a supplement. Gender bathrooms, gender neutral bathrooms, because DEI does not affect me because I still got the Constitution and the law because it's not a law. So what I'm saying is there's always a spin, even when the executive orders come in to have these policies in place, like the 1965 Act that he's trying to revoke right now with the federal government. These were still executive orders. They're not law.
Right.
So so let me finish on my point. My point is that when it's easy to throw some stuff up in the air and to see what's going to stick and say, I told you so, I told you so. To me, that's a red herring. That's what people use in debate sometimes when they're having a debate, when they can't come with receipts. And
Wait a
what I'm
minute.
saying
A
is, you guys
receipt
aren't
is
coming with
a receipt is him saying it and you hearing it and believing it and coming back and say, "See, I told you." That's what I'm talking about. Being able to say that is legit. See, I told you he was going to do this because he said it.
yeah, he said it. So
Right.
that's
So
not a receipt. So
we can say
no,
that at that point.
no,
See, I
no,
told you,
you're
like I
missing the
just tell
point.
Ernest. Ernest, see, I told you he was going to do the things that he talked about. See, I
Okay,
told
yeah,
you
you
it
said
wasn't
okay.
a red herring. It was him being him.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, what's the effect of you saying, "See, I told you"? He
The
already
effect
said it.
is
Are you saying that to people who just don't pay attention to it?
no. The effect is a lot of people didn't pay attention to it. A lot of people didn't believe the things that he was saying. A lot
Well, who
didn't.
you say, where are you getting that information from? You
See,
saying a lot of
but people,
people.
because I talk to people. I constantly talk to people
Now,
about these
come on,
things.
man.
Well,
You like
well,
No,
Daryl,
I
I
can
think
tell
what
you
he's
that.
saying is,
Yeah.
well, Daryl, I think what he's saying is people like that's not really into politics. They're
Right.
going by pretty much the media saying that he's, social media things, or he's racist. So they're really not paying attention on what Trump is saying. You know what I'm saying?
I
They
got what
really
you're
not
saying,
paying
but listen to
attention.
me,
I think
Ernie.
that's what Craig's trying to say. Not paying
I know
attention to
what
what Trump is saying. They're just going by what's saying on media or social media or whatsoever.
I got what you're saying, Ernie. But listen to this. Here's what my point I'm trying to make is this: if I don't pay attention to the football games, you're very much into sports, and I'm not paying attention to what's going on, players, and I'm not in the know. And you say to me, "See, I told you, Pittsburgh, who's your team." I'm not paying attention. I don't know nothing going on. I told you, Pittsburgh, man, the quarterback Russell, and you informing me of something that's already commonly known. People already know it in the public. You're bringing me up to speed to know the fact that you're telling me does not represent some type of gotcha or some type of see. You're just bringing me up. If you tell me, you're just informing me of something before that the person says. So what's the whole purpose of coming back and saying, "See, I told you, I told you"? What's the
Hey,
purpose of that part?
here's the purpose. Okay, like for instance, I send it out to my family chat. And I get comment, no, he can't do that. No, he's not going to do this. No, he's not going to do that. And then when I throw back, no, see, I told you, that's
Mhm.
legit. That's 100% legit because
Okay,
we've had this
that's a
conversation.
legitimate
Yeah,
point. Now the
right.
point is that when people are putting information out there like that, saying, "See, I told you," what you're saying is that most people, and what I'm saying to you is most people who follow him, most people who are in those crowds with him, they're listening to him say this stuff over and over. So what people are you? Wait a minute.
And
So
hold on. There were conversations. There were conversations about people who were coming out of rallies saying he's not going to do a lot of that. He's not going to do it because there's a lot of Hispanics at his rallies and things of that need. All of the blacks, and they're saying, "Oh, he's not
yeah,
going
but
to do it," and they'll
you making
cherry
that
pick
up,
it.
man. I
Listen,
don't believe you. You're making that up.
I read comments.
Correct,
I
Kenny.
constantly read. And what I'm saying is people come out of his rallies saying these things like, nah, he's not going to do that. A lot of people leave early saying, nah, I was just tired of listening to his jargon because he's not going to really do a lot of things that he say. I'm reading these comments and they're talking to these people. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not just one or two people that may be thinking this. And again, I may be postulating, but from a pragmatic standpoint, when we hear him, we know this guy is, who he say he is. But a lot of people don't. They just feel like, oh, he's just talking. It's a hyperbole.
And I say this, Daryl. I think a lot of people that follow Trump, I'm talking about like the strong Trump supporters. I'm talking about January 6th type. They really ain't listening to what he's saying. They like what he's projecting out there, what he's putting out there, some of the foolery, some of the racism. They into that. They really ain't listening to his policies, what he's trying to put out there.
Yeah, but
Let's
where
be
you getting
real.
that from? Yeah, but
Okay.
where you getting that from?
Oh, hold on. Let
Where
me
I'm
ask
getting
you a
that from?
question.
That's what I'm saying. You doing the same thing. You postulating.
No,
You doing the same
no. Okay. I really ain't trying to put it out there like that. But I talk to people out here, Daryl. That's all I'm gonna say. I talk to people, man. And when I ask them certain questions, they really don't know what the F he has policy wise. They just
Prime
like we
example.
saying about they like we saying about the wall. you know, the immigrants, they like what he's saying about that, but that's all they really hear. Because
So
from these selfish,
telling me,
go ahead.
tell me that list we had today on our little private messenger chat. So you're telling me all of that stuff in there that they were saying, well, he said this, he did this. Y'all don't tell me none of y'all knew that stuff that he was
No, I'm
saying?
not saying
It's
me.
not. It's
I'm not
not about
saying me. I'm
us.
talking about people
I
in
knew
general.
Daryl, see, you thinking on an intellectual level.
Now I'm not saying
Daryl,
us.
we
I'm just
all
talking about
know
people. Go ahead.
that ain't the case.
Yeah.
Daryl, that's not the case. I'm not going to cast aspersions on anyone, but a lot of people can't think past their nose. A lot of people want people to think for them. They just want to follow. You understand? What is the message sent to people in January 6th? What is that message? You don't have to hear it, but what's the message that was sent to them when they got out of jail? What was the message sent to them?
Okay, let's talk about that for an issue. So let's get into some of the issues. So let me ask you a question. Who has the most pardons in presidential history?
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm asking you what was the message that
No,
was
I'm
sent
just
to those people?
asking.
Yeah.
Who
I
knows?
don't know. So
I heard it the other day, but I forgot who it was.
Who
Joe
is
Biden has
Biden?
8,000 pardons compared to Trump's 1,700. 1,800.
But
I'm sorry.
but is the number of pardons matter as
Well,
opposed to the
when you get
message
in,
being
well, when you get in,
about the pardons?
when you get into the people that he pardoned, it gets frightening. And you can Google that for yourself. It gets very frightening.
Okay, Daryl, I understand
So
that,
here's
but
the
I'm
point.
not gonna play whataboutism right now. What I'm gonna play is January 6th. What was the message? What was the message that these people got?
That they got a pardon, they got clemency, just like somebody who
Daryl,
wait a minute,
we're not.
just like, well, you asked me a question, let me finish.
Yeah,
Let me say it, Craig. Let me say it.
Come on now.
So I think the message that the people got is that you had a guy that was in their corner, that promoted, in my opinion, them what I consider to be a riotous act. And he saw fit that because of their faithfulness and loyalty to him, that he gave them a pardon. So that's my interpretation, that it was personal. It was a personal act of clemency, no differently than you may argue with it. I could agree why Joe Biden, I never knew why Joe Biden didn't say in the first place he wasn't going to pardon his son. I would. So
Yeah, I mean,
my point is, I think anybody would. The fact is that people that they propped up. See, this becomes an issue, a personal thing, because that's a democratic posture. And see, it should never be a posture. Any man that has a son or a daughter is going to be subjective, and they have the power. They're not going to turn around and let their person go to jail and do no time. It's personal for them. So I think that he did a personal. Let me close. Let me land this. Let me land this, and I'll be done. So it was a personal act that people felt like a family member, like, you know, Daddy did something for us. We got off scot. You know, we paid the price. Some of us are getting out of jail. We don't have to pay the full boat and time because Daddy did something personal for us. That's my interpretation of it.
Okay, the leader of, what's the guy name with the patch on his eye? He spoke on it. He said he gave us what we wanted, and now we're going to knock on doors and make sure everyone votes Republican and stand in line. We're going to make sure that people fall in line behind Trump because, you know, they feel like, again, they're above the law now because he helped them knowing that they were guilty of their crimes.
I hope you have the same argument on the other side.
No,
I'm sorry.
Hey, Daryl, let's be real now. Let's be real. This was the message that was sent. I can do whatever the heck I want now because this man just got me off. And there's two guys. One just got killed, who was released from January 6th. He was just killed. The other one went to prison. The other one went to prison because of guns. You understand what I'm saying? So, in other words, what I was getting at, some of these people think, okay, hell, I'm above the law. As long as he in this chair, he gonna look out for me. You understand?
I think it's kind of hard to have the argument on both sides because we had all of these people, whatever you want to call it, they attacked the Capitol, attacked police officers, and did all of that. And for him to say it was too cumbersome to go through all of those cases to see who did what or whatever the case may be, just let them all out. That right there sends a crazy message to me. I mean,
but that's not according to CNN. CNN said that,
that's what Trump said.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that CNN said that most of the attorney on CNN said on Democratic liberal news said that the majority of the people that were sentenced and had consented were considered non-violent. It was more on the side of riot. They were just kind of following. There were people that were there that did physical things, but they said it was like when you take the whole 1,500 in allotment, he said it was a handful, and that's on the Democratic news.
Even with that, then as a responsible president, he should have taken the time to go through and see who did what. And if those were non-violent, okay, let them out. But the ones who were actually violent, they should still be in.
Okay, but do you produce the same argument on the side with the Democrat when Biden was releasing the pedophiles and the people that did what they did? I mean, do you have that same argument, or you just don't deal with that? We're just dealing with Trump.
I don't like pedophiles, so I would keep them all locked up.
Well, but what I'm saying is that if you go do the research and not have your research independent of a news foundation, what you're going to dig up is going to be totally different. It's not going to be the same. And so that's why I said my argument is not, listen, I really don't care about Trump. I don't know him as a person like that. Going back to the Central Park 5, I had a lot of issues with certain things. But what my attack, me being an attack dog, is not being attack dog for him, but for the liberal mindset that has purity tests, that has these purity tests that everybody needs to pass in order to be, like, for example, if we were living, I'm a pastor, if we were living in the time of David, then David could not be the king. David killed Bathsheba's, he killed a man. He killed the man. He so when we talking about these purity tests, Moses killed the man. And I'm not justifying anything that anybody does. What I'm saying is the Democrats has this way of presenting a light, just like they did with the DEI. Most people, I talk to people all the time that I said, wait a minute, because I'm a consultant. If you go into any AI program online and you type in just simply this, how much consulting revenue has been generated from DEI? I think it's, as of 2023, it's $97 billion. I know the aspects of consulting and how consulting firms generate revenue. That's all that was. That's powers to be that's got money that put corporations in bondage to do certain things that has nothing to do with the law. Nothing to do with the law. Any one of us, but that's the argument. The last time we have arguments, everybody's arguing about, people on equality in the workplace, but you already got laws in place. They've been in place. But they're not really dealing with the real DEI issues, which is if you're from New Jersey, like I'm from New Jersey, in South Carolina, when you go to the YMCA, a transgender man cannot go into the woman's bathroom. Not in New Jersey, in New York, and California, y'all should know this. They can. So you could be at the gym. Your wife could be at the gym, and a dude who's a transgender can walk in there.
Yeah.
And that's a fact. That's in New Jersey. That's in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. No, you think I'm not making this up? You asked.
I believe when it comes to that DEI thing, the more I think about it, it's like, what is the purpose of it? Because again, you're right. We have laws. We have equal opportunity and things of that nature. So when you're looking at DEI, it's like I was watching somebody's podcast, and it's like, DEI and all this stuff, all these other things that came after the laws were made. It's like they hijacked the civil rights movement. Exactly. Because it's like, another thing he was saying is like, we had, all the civil rights laws. Then it turned into women's rights, and it turned into all these other things. And it's like what was meant for African Americans because we were the minorities is now spread and morphed into all these things. And now it's like, how do you really define a minority group when you're throwing everybody in as a minority group?
So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well, I'm
that's all
saying,
all I'm
my
saying
thing,
is
my thing about DEI is okay. It addresses race, okay. But what if a white guy gets promoted on his job not because he's white, but because he's the boss's brother or cousin, or his dad plays golf with his
Nepotism type stuff.
Nepotism. And because nepotism and racism and sexism can all look the same by result.
Yeah, but DEI doesn't address it as a law. Only the law deals with that. DEI doesn't, because DEI is not a law. You got to keep in mind.
Yeah.
It's not a law. What it is it's the way to socially reform the workplace, to make acceptable things like that what they have. One of the big things in DEI is gender neutral bathroom. It's teaching people about bias, being biased against culture. It's putting things. It's generating money, man. It's culture.
But another one is
you can't change the heart of people. You can say all that stuff you want to, but you can't change my heart.
Right. You're right. And another one they wanted to address, and we all know they wanted to address the fact that a lot of blacks don't get promotions as others. That's one of the things that they wanted to address as well. But I want to address. You brought up David, the purity test. You don't bring up David. David, well, yeah, he asked for forgiveness. You brought up Moses. Moses, yes, he asked for forgiveness. Trump may have asked for forgiveness, but I tell you what, he consistently doubled down on the things that he's done. So we don't want to go with the purity test and comparing Moses and David to that.
No. Okay, you missed my point. I got your point. So I'm not gonna steel man your argument because I know what you're saying. But the point that you're missing is this. The point that I'm trying to point out is this. David couldn't pass the purity test, so he couldn't even get the assignment. There are a lot of people out there that what I'm saying that are still good people. Forget Trump. I ain't talking about you just put Trump on the back. When you can't pass the Democrat purity test, they will go look for anything in your life. They'll look for something. They have had good senators. That one senator was making fun of the lady that time. The comedy guy who was a comedian.
The comedian. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So what I'm saying, what kind of people? So this is the kind of stuff that started enraging me. Like, that's a good dude. That's a good dude. So they go look for anything that you can't pass their purity test and bring it up.
Well, here's the thing, and I know about that situation, and it was like Democrats eating their own, but they were kind of egged on by the Republicans. See, look at what this guy's done. Look at what he's done. But the hypocrisy in them is not overshadowed because they don't care about that hypocrisy. Well, they don't care because they're going to let anybody do anything. They're not going to eat their own. Democrats will eat their own.
Craig and Soul, let me ask y'all a question, man. Do you guys think? I mean, sometimes you gotta say what it is. One thing I respect about Trump, he walking like he talking.
Yeah.
Versus what the Democrats do. Once he got in office, man, he went, like I said in the intro, he's like Tony Montana. He started spraying, man. Say hello to my little friend. You know what I'm saying? He went in and went to work. Democrats, man, they normally take their time, man. Within 4 years, they still ain't get some of the stuff done that they promised that they would do. And sometimes they don't even do what they promise. So I hate to say it, man, but hey, one thing I do respect about Trump, man, he walking like he talking. What you guys think about that?
I will give him his props that he's keeping his word, and
whether you like it or not.
Yeah, whether you like it or not. I mean, I don't necessarily like his approach, but he's doing what he got to do. The one thing, Democrats drag their feet along and try to accommodate things and people that don't need to be accommodated. However, some of the things that he's doing is just it's crazy. like it's affecting more people in a way that I mean, again,
But I say this.
He said he's going to do it, but people was not ready, or they didn't believe how far it was going to go or what all it was going to affect.
But I say that to say this, maybe his blueprint of what he's doing now, being a man of his word, like it or not, he's keeping his word to his voters. Maybe that would, spark them out to the next president that's running. Well, hey man, this is what the people want. They want somebody that's really gonna keep their word and jump on as soon as he get in office.
Well, see, I would say this. I saw like when Obama came into office, and Obama said he's going to be a president to everyone. We have presidents now, Trump. He's only want to be a president to one side. That can be argued, but it's true. You have Biden said the same thing. He wanted to be a president to everyone, and that's what they do. They bring everybody to the table to try to get everyone to say, you know what, let's agree upon something that's going to benefit the people, the masses. Whereas one side is going to say, no, because that's going to make y'all look good. You understand? So I've seen this. I've seen this in the Obama administration, and I've seen this in President Biden's administration during his term. They want to get people together, and that's what the Democrats do. They say, all right, let's bring them all, go to the White House, go out to dinner, whatever have you, and let's work to make something happen. Republicans are saying, no, we don't want to make y'all look good. We want to do our own thing. Y'all may see something different, but that's what I see.
Yeah, I liken to this whole thing with Trump. So I'm gonna. Trump got some. He's a unique person. Has some good qualities. Has some very bad qualities as a person, as a human being. I think he speaks off of the top of his brain without processing the stuff that he needs to be saying. So I don't think he thinks things through. I think he's just like a dynamic kind of jack of all trades type of guy that's just not really thinking about what he's saying. And I think that he gets around people and to kind of ponder. And I think he's knee jerk with information. Like he'll see something and just figure that's what it is, and he'll just put it out. So there is a danger to him, but I think he's kind of like the useful fool. He's the useful fool where if you want to burn down something, if you want to tear down something, that's the type of guy that you want to sit in
But have a plan.
Because for me, I'm gonna tell you like this. For me being a Christian, it's like I'm having popcorn.
I'm saying just have a plan. If you
Harold, that goes back.
Down,
because the kingdom ain't coming in till this whole thing fall anyway. So
have a plan. I mean, to say I'm going to burn the house down, but hell, have some brick and mortar, have something over here to say I'm going to rebuild it.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing about burning the house down. He ain't burning our house down. You know why? Because collectively, as African American people, we know what it is to have our communities break down and opportunities take from us. So we already know we have a natural ability, and I'm not saying this as any type of negative advertisement against anybody else. I'm just talking about our people because it's something I know. We're innovative, we're creative, we can go into anything as a people of color and dominate and reign in that. And I think that burning this house down, the institutional house that you have right now, is not meant. It's not meant. In other words, this is not our economy. This is economy that we've learned to thrive in, that we've learned to manipulate to our advantage. But collectively, this is not our. Even when we had our own communities, we functioned differently. We functioned differently when we were thriving. If you go back, not just to study roles and all of those other communities that was burned down, if you study the infrastructure, the economy in which way we function, how we had education, the things that the church did back there, how we took care of our own. We had institutions. We didn't have no public education. We had our own institutions of learning. It's just when they put us on the titty, so to speak, now all of a sudden you got handouts and you got the father not inside of the home, then the mother can't get money unless she's by herself. You got a level of dependency on a system. And so when you're talking about giving people a handout, we always took care of our own, but we don't have to take care of our own anymore. So collectively, I think it works to our disadvantage in the current economical infrastructure. Trump right now is trying to save his people, the wealthy people, from being able to finance a lot of things that he'd rather say, I'd rather give you guys your money back and you do what you want to do. I'd rather take the Social Security, resolve it, give you your money, and you go invest it where you're going to invest it. Because this is a house of cards. And so to a certain degree, that doesn't work for a liberal world. The liberal world needs to generate, and that's the part that gets me when I'm sitting down seeing the machinery. Like, why does Rachel Maddow get $30 million? What reporter, what is she creating?
Yeah.
What news reporter is worth 30 million? You know why she's worth 30 million? Because she's hypnotizing. She can draw people in and keep people in, so she's worth that. So she's worth that.
That goes to a lot of them. Not just Rachel.
All of them. All of them.
That goes to a lot of them.
I'm just using her as a you know, an example. But that goes to all of them, even the one on Fox. Nobody deserves to get that much money. You're being paid for something. And that's what I'm saying. It gets to a particular point where people got to start seeing through that. Like, I'm being fed propaganda.
Well, I mean, and I've told you this before. I don't watch the news.
Mm-hmm.
I don't watch the news.
You sound like him.
No. I don't watch the news. Daryl, what I sound like, Daryl, is I sound like somebody who always gonna win.
Yeah. Listen, you open up the door, I'm gonna take the shot.
I study a lot, I read a lot, but no, I don't watch the news. I don't listen to the news. I just don't.
Hey, listen, you open the door, I'm gonna take the shot, man. I'm gonna throw something at you.
He put his foot in the door to keep it closed.
Yeah, I can't listen to that. So whenever I hear you talk about the media, this and that and the other, that's foreign to me because I don't watch them. Right. I just don't.
What do you guys think about Elon Musk in his presidential?
Hey, Daryl.
I think
Elon. I'm gonna come at you. I want you to go ahead and settle down.
I think Elon is a nerd. I think he's a wealthy nerd. I think he has ambition that's intellectual, but I don't see the social. I don't understand why a person want to build. Like I said, I'm gonna be independent. You're gonna see my independence. I don't see why you want to be building a space station and put a flag on Mars and we can't feed people here.
Hey. I said that.
So, he's out of touch. He's out of touch.
So what I'm trying to say to you, and that's what I'm trying to say, is that I don't take a position against none of these. I fight with Democrats only because I didn't like the entrapment in the world that I was in. If it wasn't for social media and me being able to get access to other outlets and to hear other opinions and other things of that nature, and to come back and to really see what I was entangled with, that I was, and I consider myself a highly intellectual person, like well-read, well-versed. I'm a debater. I'm a skilled debater. I debate in the Christian apologetics. I'm online. I got a nice following on TikTok where I debate and show up and deal with atheists and other people from a Christian perspective. I just don't, just follow Jesus. I understand the science of even religion. So my point is that when a person in my capacity see how the principal ideology that I got stuck into in the Democratic Party was taking care of the poor, the things that I believed in, the values that I believed in, I got sucked in to this machinery that really did nothing for no one. It was self-serving and kept you, even Black people couldn't get anything out of it from a law standpoint, legislation that would really be, it was like a perpetual, it's like Soul said, like you just keep putting things together and packaging it and repackaging and making promises. So I just I kind of woke up from that, from just getting other information because I was locked into that world. So I'm never attacking Craig or anybody else in that. I'm attacking that mindset. That's
Hey, I'll tell you this, and I've heard what you're saying right now.
By the way, Craig, say a second.
Go ahead.
We're not going to Mars anytime soon. Just understand that. That's marketing hype.
You put that disclaimer out there?
Yeah, we are not going to Mars anytime soon.
Hey,
what I'm hearing from
check
you,
this out. Hold on. The words of Tupac: "We got money for war, but we can't feed the poor." Go ahead, Craig.
When I hear you speak about coming out of that, I hear a lot of MAGA people saying the same thing. They're coming out of that fog. So when I hear you speak that way, that's
He
what I
trying to throw
actually think
shots at you,
about.
D.
I do. That's what I think about. I think about them saying, I was entranced. I was entrenched. I was in a cult. I couldn't think for myself. I hear that. And so I know that it's real. Hey, I know that it's real. You understand what I'm saying? I just don't listen to the news. That's why that's the reason I don't listen to the news. Because you can be, drawn in.
I do listen to the news, but I listen to it with popcorn now. Just kind of observing. Yeah, it's kind of like theater. Yeah, for me, it's like theater, watching the maneuver and watching the person behind, pull the levers behind the curtain, and the eyes is going on, and then all of a sudden, you can see people when they pulling it. Like I love watching the news now, watching, when the I loved it, man, when I saw it's the bishop, that bishop that got up and she talked about, I saw how Rachel Maddow had her on the show.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
So how do you feel and whatever the case can be, and because what they want to do is they want to lean on people, they want to tug on people's heart. They want to tug on people's heart. They want to get you. But let me tell you something. If that woman really wanted to be effective, you don't do that from that. You don't do that like that. If you really wanted to make a difference and an impact and show some solidarity, get him to have the compassion, you do that behind closed doors, because you taking it a shot. You already know who the dude is. Like we know when we can't take certain shots. When you trying to date a girl, if you already know size the up. Oh, I can't say this to her.
Right.
I'm not trying to mess myself up. I'll just put that on the back burner and I'll wait for a better opportune time, a better way to say something, present something. So this person is a bishop and a leader. And so what they do is they come in and they create propaganda and create these conversations so they can come back and create a forum. Because the only thing she's gonna get out of it now is maybe she becomes a regular pundit on the show. She may get, she may even get a check in the future.
So my question to you is, you don't think that she was trying to tug at the hearts of those who know that what's wrong is wrong and what's right is right, for those to speak up who see wrong?
But what effect can you make? What kind of effect can you make that on by doing something like that, where versus if you really are truly sincere about making a difference, why would you take an event like that, knowing who this person is, on public TV, try to say something to him that's kind of demeaning, that kind of makes him look in a negative way, when you already know what the fallout is going to be? You know how he's not going to receive it.
Well, see, what I got from it and what I like that I got from it is those who capitulated and who said, "Oh, yeah, what
I
Trump
thought you don't watch the news."
No, I'm saying what I got from it, because I tell you, I read a lot.
Okay.
I'm talking about those who capitulated, like a Lindsey Graham. Oh, he's not just, or the other senator, I forgot his name. He was like, he should be able to do what he want and say what he say what he want. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. Well, it does, because you work for the people. You represent the people.
Yeah, but you can't use here's what you can't use. You can't take somebody like Lindsey Graham, who's all over the place, who's demonstrated his dishonesty, his unfaithfulness. You called Trump out before, and then all of a sudden he's
Trump is his God. A lot of them did. A lot of them down. Hey, a lot of them did.
I mean, is that your best argument?
Oh my goodness.
Hey, Daryl, the majority of them did. I can't do it no more. That's it. I'm done. Hey, it was what he did was deplorable. Hey, a lot of them, and then they fell in line. See, I couldn't do that.
All of them. Marco Rubio, all of these guys, of these guys will wherever they can. But here's the point. The Democrats do it too. Barack Obama throws Hillary Clinton on the bus. Hillary throws Bob, and the next thing you know, she's his Secretary of State. This is the game these people play, man. They all do it. And that's my point. None of them have no vested interest in the people. Their only vested interest is in politics, lining their coffers, and necessarily doing. And so at some particular point, the only thing that I like about Trump I don't really care. I don't care the policies, none of that stuff. Only thing I like is that, you know, I think he's tearing down an institution. That's what I like.
Well, here's my thing. I can't put like and Trump in the same sentence.
Mm-hmm.
My bad. I just can't.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't. You know what I'm
Let
saying?
me ask you guys.
Well, I think I would like anybody that was going in there setting that house on fire. If you go in there,
I put it to you this way, Daryl. If you like that I could go in there and set it on fire, know that I got a plan.
Mm-hmm.
Know that I have an end game. Mm-hmm. I'm not just gonna do it just to say I do it or just to say I did it. I'm gonna have an end game. I'm gonna have a plan.
Yeah, what are your thoughts about COVID-19 and the reports are coming out now with the CIA? So the CIA,
that must have been on the news.
Oh yeah, they're the CIA the CIA has given their low confidence report in the Biden's administration rationale for the so they're starting to release stuff now that you see why Fauci got his pardon.
That's what I was about to say.
So you're gonna start seeing a whole bunch of stuff in the administration and things that have happened and things that we just don't know about. And that's the problem. See, the problem is that, you know, these guys are sworn to secrecy. They get in and I think they discover things.
Well, how about this? How about this, D? What about the MLK, JFK, and RFK murders and files about that? What you think about that?
Yeah, they starting. And a lot of people are starting to say, like, I heard people say, well, what's the whole purpose of that? Yeah, because they're trying to reveal stuff. They're trying to, you know,
I'm waiting for that to come out.
Yeah,
and let people see. So his administration says, yeah, tell it all. See, that's what I mean. Burn the house down.
Yeah.
When you burn the house down, now all of a sudden you ain't gonna hide nothing no more.
Okay, here's the thing. He said he was releasing that before, right? Trump is pushing that release. They got in his ear and said, "Hey, look at man, look here. You're not doing that." And what?
Or they doing it now?
No, I have to see it to believe it because the simple fact that
I think he has the support to do it now.
All his people. But here's the thing: he no longer has people who are saying, "You know what? We got to keep the kid on the playground. We can't let him go out and play among others." He don't have that anymore. He doesn't have people that's gonna say, "Yo, what? I'm the adult in the room. I got to make sure that decorum stays." He doesn't have that anymore. And like you said earlier, when he went to Mar-a-Lago, they were told to make sure that he doesn't sit around the masses because people will come in his ear and say things, and he'd be like, "Yeah, I like that. That's a good idea," and he'll think about implementing it. You understand what I'm saying? So he doesn't have that anymore.
Hey, but Craig, check this out. Craig, I'm kind of confused, right?
Yeah.
I don't understand how you don't like Trump, because Trump remind me he's Jerry Jones. He do what he wants.
Hey, Victor, did we discuss this?
Well, you said something about it. I don't remember the discussion.
Victor. Hey,
I'm just saying he do what he wants.
Daryl, let me let you in on this. Because
Jerry Jones said, "I write the checks. I do what I want." That's Trump.
I said, if anybody bring up sports on this call, Victor's to hit the button.
Well, he's not talking about sports. He's talking about Jerry Jones.
No. You don't try to
He was talking about the Cowboys.
I had to say it, man. But hey, I had to say it. But what you guys think about this? Go ahead,
Trump is. I believe Trump is a whole nother beast, and I think that there's a time for fools, there's a time for people, there's a time for Obama. But I think that it comes to a point. I said the biggest problem I'm having with, like I said, and especially even the liberal movement is, I have friends that are in New Jersey, so. Being from growing up in the South and then growing up in New Jersey, I know the difference between both, and kind of like you feel like a fish out of water in both places. And one of the things that I know is like in Black churches in the South, we don't really, you really don't raise your hand up and be talking about a woman's right to choose. You understand that that's just something we just don't talk about. We keep that, that's between you and God. whatever, you ask God for forgiveness. We don't walk around with no banners. You ain't gonna see that happen in no black church. That we people may say and go online and may have convictions towards it, but we already know, because if you send up any decent church, they're gonna tell you that. I mean, even the Bible says that a woman's body is not her own, but it belongs to her husband, just as the husband body belongs to him. So we know that this is the kind of faith that anchors us into. So we kind of like we don't get involved with that. We just want to leave that alone. And being in the South, we're blessed because we're not in a democratic state. You see, we're in a state where we know that certain things are not going to be taught in the schools. They're not going to be teaching stuff in certain schools down here. But you go back to New Jersey and New York, and you have your kids there or have relatives there, and see what they kids have access to and how they, whatever the case may be. They are being indoctrinated into a culture that we don't even have, that we're kind of inoculated from. So it's easy for us to turn around and present arguments sometimes, not knowing that we got family members living in certain places that are dealing with issues. Mother-in-law up in New Jersey has the, go when she goes to the gym, from some guys walking around in the locker room or in the steam room,
Damn. Yeah.
hanging, whatever the case may be. Now, so our daughters and our people don't have to be confronted with none of that. We don't have to deal with that. We deal differently. We're not turning around and saying that we're anti something, but we know that, hey, look, certain things just are between me and God.
Yeah. Well, some was hijacked. A lot of things were hijacked. We all know that.
Yeah, and so the problem is, and that's why DEI came in, and I'm looking at it. It's a money-making industry. It makes money. When you saw the firefighter, the woman firefighter who made the commercial over in California, talking about if there's a man burning in the house, then he shouldn't have just been in there. Yeah, they made a commercial. Y'all saw that, right?
Yeah.
Well, here's the problem I have. When you say DEI hire, DEI hire, DEI hire. What if that person was actually good enough to do that job? They were actually a great hire. And I'm speaking, what about the lady who was in charge of, what is it? Water rescue, Coast Guard. Mm-hmm. For her to sit there and try to meet Trump at the ball, not knowing that he was in the behind the scenes firing her already because she was a DEI hire, just because there was a label attached to her. You understand what I'm saying? So you want to go in and purge anybody who you think were a DEI hire.
Well, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. It's because you don't understand the other side of it. So, for example, my wife is a director of underwriting, and I can't mention the company's name. I'm not going to mention it. My wife's a director of underwriting for a very large financial institution. But they had cuts. They had huge cuts with real top and type of level employees, but they couldn't cut those yacht jobs. So corporations have to maintain this because, even though the DEI infrastructure, the DEI infrastructure is preserved. So now the question is, when companies got to make cutbacks and layoffs, where are they making them?
Craig, is that you? I'm sorry. Craig, that's you?
Oh, that's me. Sorry. I was trying to, I was looking for something. Sorry.
You're looking for that commercial, right? Yeah, I hope you find it. So
I'm not watching no commercial. Hey, what does that sound like? Somebody who doesn't want to learn, right? There's a lot of that going on. And, you understand? I don't want to hear what he has to say. I just like him. Mm-hmm. Man, come on, man. Hey, I'm sorry, guys.
Go ahead, Derek.
I think there's a large percentage of, listen, I'm gonna give you that there is a large percentage of fools, but I wouldn't say that that's the most of the population. I think most people, I'll give you 10, 15%, but the most of the population of the millions of people, I don't think it's like even African Americans, we only represent 13%. We only represent 13%. So when you see us sliding off, when you see and from 2016, we were at 90% of the Democratic, and now it's down to, I think, 79%. It tells you that people are kind of sliding off, and they're kind of saying, wait a minute, like, this is not, like a lot of people voted for, I voted for Biden. A lot of people voted for Biden because Jim Clyburn, that was, he gave the sign, and we just, okay, that's Jim's our guy, and we just went that direction. We really don't really go and do even people who are intelligent, we don't do the homework because the Democrat is supposed to represent something. So
and that's what I was saying earlier. That's what I was saying earlier there.
A lot of people just not in the know. Nobody,
okay.
everybody's trying to live.
That's a good argument, Darryl. That's a great argument. But when I look at it, and I look at Democrat versus Republican, who's going to be there to say, you know what? Let's make sure that you are a part of something, as opposed to we're only going to please our people. You understand what I'm saying? When I look at the policy, when I look at the policies, I see this here might help me. This here, I don't know what the hell they're doing. They don't. They're not showing me anything. Show me something. If you're saying that you want us to have the best health care, well, damn it, show me something. Show me the best health care. Show me that you're working on it. There's nothing there. Yeah, there's just nothing there.
But and here's the other flip side to it. You're 100% right. Not gonna show me something. We should all be able to show and prove. But how can somebody show you, like, for example, why are we fighting for good health care? Yeah, go ahead and play that video. Listen, watch this.
Okay, so yeah, I found it. Let me go ahead and play it.
You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you. It gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? Or is you carry my husband out of a fire? Which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
Yeah, I saw that.
He got himself in the wrong place. Now that's a DEI commercial in California.
Well, hey, Ernest, hey, and I'm going from both sides. I'm going from both sides. Ernest, I'm not. I've known a situation where someone come on a scene, and they look at that person and think that they're.
Yo, I know where you're going with that, man.
Okay, listen.
Now, comfort level. That's the thing. That is the thing. The thing is comfort level.
Okay. Let me show you. Let me show you what I mean by straw manning. Okay, so you just straw manning. So let me show you what I mean by that. So when I'm having a debate sometimes. Let's say I'm having a debate against a person who's a Muslim. And so he will come up and he will show me how in the Old Testament that, because I'll say Muhammad sinned or Muhammad did this, and he'll come back and he'll tell me, well, Abraham sinned and this particular sinned. And I said, but that's not my point. My point is that Allah condones it. The Bible doesn't. So right. I'm not talking. So there's a difference.
That's a great argument.
Yeah, and there's a difference between putting a commercial out. Somebody put a commercial out.
That's wild.
And I'll tell you, you get a commercial like that where you are so beholden to your cause that you're blinded by reality. I mean, like this commercial about firefighters. You are not going to have an equal number of male and female firefighters because there are physical requirements that most men are only going to be able to adhere to versus women, unless you lower standards. Well, I can say the same thing about Navy SEALs. You're not going to have an equal number of female, male Navy SEAls ever because the physical requirements are so high. But you put out a commercial like that because you're trying to make everything so equal that it does not deal with reality. The reality is a whole lot of women ain't going to be firefighters.
No, what I'm listening to is their comfort level.
Yeah, let me tell you something. If my life is in danger, I don't care.
Craig. No, hold on. No.
Save my life.
Open up the washing machine lid. Put that in and watch Craig spin that thing. Go ahead, Craig. Spin that thing for.
Hey, the house is burning down. My leg is broken. I just want to carry my big fat butt out of this house.
When you come on a scene,
up as long as they can carry me out of my burning house.
When you come up on a scene, and it's someone that looks like them, it's easier to relate.
I ain't trying to relate. My house is burning down. I'm dying.
Ernest, can you help me out here?
Hey,
Ernest, Can you help me out here? You
Hey.
can't say it. I can say this. I'm saying when you come up on the scene and someone's of a particular gender and
Orientation.
No, hold on, no.
yeah.
Hey, I can't say it, but I've been in a situation similar to that. I still did my job. Though. I can put it like that. Huh?
Yeah.
I've been in a situation
Yeah.
just
Oh,
recently
man.
similar to that, but I still did my job though, man.
But that's
And you wouldn't have created no commercial either, right?
Nah, I ain't creating no commercial.
I gotta run my break over.
Oh, man.
All right, we about to wrap it up, man. Let me get you guys' final thoughts before we wrap it up. We'll start with Chris.
I'm gonna go
What's your final
first because I
thought?
gotta go. Daryl, you gotta come a little stronger because I need your notes before you come on the show. From now on, you send me your notes.
I will.
And Victor, when we do this political side again, have the button ready. Anybody talk about sports?
Okay, yeah, about sports. Okay.
Yeah,
sports.
but hey, it's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. I love listening to both sides of arguments. In fact, I mean, because again, you come away with more knowledge.
Mhm.
In my case, more ammunition. You know? But guys, it's always a pleasure, man. We have to keep this up because there are people that
every
need
month.
to know.
You're doing this every month.
Yeah. People need to hear all sides. People need to have all sides of arguments, and they don't have to agree, but just knowing and being passionate about something.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I just tell you, you know, if you want to come on this show, just come. But make sure you button up. Things might be a little rough. Hey, love you, gentlemen. I gotta run.
Love you too, man.
All right, now.
Darren, what's your final thoughts?
My final thoughts is I love Craig being on the show with him because I'm telling you he's a spin master, man. I would love for him to just like, you know, let me tell you something. When it comes down to, I know he does the laundry in his house. Definitely, you know, so he gonna make something. He gonna make something look good no matter what. So I love the show. I love the. I guess my final thoughts are, once again, like I said, I want to make sure that you know it's known that I'm not an advocate. I'm not an advocate for Trump. I'm not an advocate for his policies. I'm not an advocate because I don't think none of these policies are standing. And I am. If anything, I'm gonna burn the house down. I think the dismantling of the current infrastructure is going to bring unseen opportunities that African Americans that we can't even imagine. I believe, and that's because I believe that Scripture says, "Eye has not heard, ear has not seen, nor has entered in the heart what God has prepared for those that love Him." So I believe that we are, as a people, that I think that we're going to prosper through this situation, and I think that the current economy needs to be dismantled to allow us to be able to. Needs to give us a leg up. I think that we can seize the moment. We have enough knowledge and enough power. We just need to have the infrastructure change. So that's my final thoughts.
So,
I can't echo the sentiment enough. I love being on here with you guys. I know it's a lot of stuff that we could have touched on. You know, I don't particularly care for, you know, how he's doing things. But, you know, and I've kind of checked out from the news lately, but I do think handling these migrants should have been done more swiftly and strongly in previous administrations. The one thing that bugs me the most about it is people crying and, you know, all this stuff that they're doing. And it's like, if you've been in this country 2, 3, 4, 5 years, why haven't you made any efforts on being a permanent resident or citizen? I just don't get it. And they do need to go home, go back to where they came from if they're not going to pursue the path of citizenship. On top of that, I was before he came in office, I was one of those like, you know, our economy is this, our economy is that, and it's like, you know what? If they go home, some people need to get off their butts, off their couches, off welfare, and go get them jobs, because if you're going to say, I'm not going to do that job because that's not me, this, that, and other, but then you're not going to eat. Get rid of that welfare stuff and go to work.
Vic.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna put this out there. Maybe we need to find like an immigration attorney to actually talk to us about the process and stuff. Because I don't know the process, legitimately, of how one goes from being immigrant to a citizen. But all in all, that, like I said, I love you guys. I love this. It's a pleasure again being online with you guys. I think the big takeaway I take away from both sides of this is you can be so beholden to your side of the aisle that you become very tunnel vision to the point where you may even block out stuff that you don't like just because that person is on your side. So even when Trump says something, it becomes, he really didn't say it. Oh, it's not going to be that bad because he's on my side. So now I got to stay on this side, and I'm not going to hold my own people's feet to the fire, regardless of who's on what side. So we got to come out of each other's Democratic or Republican fogs and come out and listen and hear each other. Yeah.
That's good.
Well, I want to thank you guys. I really enjoy this. Every month we're going to be doing this. I learn a lot from you guys from each side, man. It's also funny too. So but I want to thank you guys for liking and subscribing to the channel. Like I said earlier, we're currently at 923 subs. Try to get to 1,000. You guys know what to do. Also, guys, make sure you tune in Sunday. We got a special treat starting off for Black History Month. We got he's been on the 1977 documentary Pumping Iron with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He won the 1994 Mr. Olympia Masters. We got the Black Prince, Robbie Robertson. He's going to be talking about Joe Weider, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and the racism going on in bodybuilding. Make sure you guys tune in. Other than that, see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.